I want you to make sure you watch this video from the beginning to the very end. You will hear everything President Donald Trump said concerning Iran. You know that US has been sending peace proposal to Iran, and Iran also sent back to US their own peace proposal, but Iran did not accept US proposal. In the other hand, US did not accept Iran's proposal, and now President Donald Trump, from his words, you will know that he is no longer happy with Iran. And what did he say? He says that the negotiation, the peace deal with Iran is on a very strong, massive life support. This statement shows that no more time to give Iran for peace negotiation. So after this from President Donald Trump, what will be the next? So just take some time, watch this video from the beginning to the very end. You will hear everything by yourself. When we come back, we discuss.
For the time being, the ceasefire remains in place?
It's unbelievably weak, I would say. I would call it the weakest right now. The ceasefire is on massive life support, where the doctor walks in and says, "Sir, your loved one has approximately a 1% chance of living."
That from President Trump moments ago in the Oval Office, offering his strongest indication yet that the ceasefire with Iran could be unraveling, calling Tehran's latest peace proposal garbage. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. Where'd the weekend go, John? Good to be back with you.
It goes by quickly, and now we're back into the fray again. And who was expecting anything different from the Iranian negotiators? I'm John Roberts in Washington. This is America Reports. The president also signaling major relief for Americans dealing with high gasoline prices.
Mr. President, are you going to suspend the federal gas tax?
Yeah, I'm going to reduce until the... Let me tell you, as soon as this is over with Iran...
Are you going to suspend that tax for?
Till it's appropriate, yeah.
Mr. President, how soon?
It's a small percentage, but it's still money.
All right, the president's new strategy unfolding hours before he leaves for this high-stakes meeting with China's Xi Jinping, where he is expected to be joined by top American business leaders. The names have been named, and they include Elon Musk. We're going to get into all that in moments.
But first to our chief foreign correspondent, Trey Inks. He's in Tel Aviv with all the latest. Hey, Trey.
Yeah, John, good afternoon. President Trump giving new insight on his thoughts about the ceasefire agreement and the Iranian response to the U.S. proposal.
Unbelievably weak, I would say. I would call it the weakest right now. After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said, I'm not going to waste my time reading it. I would say it's one of the weakest right now. It's on life support. They understand these are all medical people. Dr. Oz, life support is not a good thing. Do you agree?
Bad prognostic.
I would say the ceasefire is on massive life support, where the doctor walks in and says, "Sir, your loved one has approximately a 1% chance of living." Yeah.
President Trump also reacted overnight to the Iranian response, calling it totally unacceptable. The president said in part on Truth Social, "For 47 years, the Iranians have been tapping us along, keeping us waiting, killing our people with their roadside bombs, destroying protests, and recently wiping out 42,000 innocent unarmed protesters and laughing at our now great again country. They will be laughing no longer." Iranian state media reported the response included security of the Strait of Hormuz and an end to the war, but did not address the key Trump administration demand to address Iran's nuclear program. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu echoed a similar sentiment in an interview over the weekend, saying the war isn't over yet because Iran still has nuclear material. The Wall Street Journal reports that the latest response doesn't resolve the U.S. demand for commitments in advance on the fate of Iran's nuclear program and its stockpile of highly enriched uranium. Nuclear issues would be negotiated over the next 30 days, they said. Iran proposes to have some of its highly enriched uranium diluted and the rest transferred to a third country, the people said. A spokesperson for the Iranian Foreign Ministry claimed the response was not excessive and that the United States continues to have unreasonable demands.
We did not ask for any concessions. The only thing we sought was Iran's legitimate rights. I leave it to you and to our people to judge whether Iran's demands were excessive. Iran's call for an end to the war in the region.
President Trump also indicated Iran made commitments about that buried uranium following Operation Midnight Hammer last summer, and then those commitments weren't in the response delivered over the weekend. Here in Israel, the military remains on high alert in case combat operations resume. John?
All right, a lot more on this ahead. Trey Yingst for us, setting the stage in Tel Aviv. Trey, thank you. Sandra?
All right, John, let's bring in retired Marine Colonel Mike Jernigan, who has traveled through the Strait of Hormuz and is also a visiting fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Welcome to you, sir. Let me get your thoughts on where we are in this moment, considering now that you have President Trump over the weekend calling Iran's proposal totally unacceptable. You heard just a moment ago in the Oval Office labeling the ceasefire deal unbelievably weak, and he called it a piece of garbage. Where does this leave things?
Sandra, good afternoon. Those are fairly significantly and strong emotionally laden words the president used, and I think they're accurate. You know, the Iranians have nuclear aspirations. They have in their constitution the elimination of Israel as a country. They have the means and the stated desire of harming Americans. And I'm not the only one that remembers the chance of death to America over all the years of my life. And so where we stand with this is the Iranians are really grasping for straws, trying to get influence, and they're trying to cause it to be painful economically for the United States to continue this war. But the fact of it is that the Iranian economy is on its last ropes. Their rial is trading at its lowest ever. Their military has no means to influence anything externally except by throwing missiles and drones at non-combatants in hotels and residences.
He sort of led us to believe that we, shouldn't make much of the representatives that Iran has put forward. He sort of poo-poos who those leaders are that are actually at the negotiating table, which is why he took this question a few moments ago at the White House from a reporter on whether he can continue to negotiate with this Iranian leadership. Listen.
Is this still a leadership that you believe you can negotiate with and
Yeah.
ultimately reach a peace
I think
deal
so.
with?
Well, you have two. You have the moderates and you have the lunatics. And I think the moderates are more respected. The lunatics want to fight till the end. It'll be a very quick fight.
What does that tell you?
That tells me there's an internal power struggle going on with Iran. The president says that there's moderates and there's people that want this war to end and they want to come bring Iran into the accepted world order. And then there are religious leaders whose power is in the military and is controlling their own citizens and their neighbors. So I think that this is a fraction that has to be resolved. And there has to be somebody in Iran who can, successfully negotiate the end of this conflict.
Final question I'll play out that he took a short time ago from a reporter on whether or not we should believe that President Trump believes a diplomatic solution is still possible, or if he believes he only has military options left. Listen.
No, I think it's very possible. Look, I've had to deal with them 4 or 5 times. They change their mind. I've had that in business many times. The mind changes, you go. These people that you make a deal and then the next day they send you a document that takes 5 days to get there when it should have been there in 20 minutes. It's a pretty simple document. They will never have a nuclear weapon.
Colonel, can I get your final thought on that?
I love what the president says they will never get a nuclear weapon. I mean, I think that's fairly clear, and it shows the lengths that the United States is going to go to prevent that. And so I think that we're coming to the economic end game. The military option is still on the table. It is significant, and we don't have to go full rage against the machine like we've already seen. We can go at a little bit at a time and keep the military engagements going and keeping the economic efforts also working.
And off to China he will go, and he'll discuss energy, obviously, in Iran, as he just detailed from the Oval Office. Thank you so much, Colonel. Appreciate your time today, sir.
I hope you heard everything concerning what President Donald Trump said. The negotiation with Iran is on a very massive life support. That means there is no time for Iran to negotiate again. And since they are not willing to come for this peace deal or to accept U.S. proposal, their chances now is under massive life support. It means no time again. What do you have to say? Drop your opinions in the comment section. Let's know what you think. For more news, update like this, subscribe. See you in the next one. I really appreciate your time. Bye for now.